A man adopted a horse and cared for it lovingly for years. He fed it, looked after it, and over time an indescribably strong bond formed between them. Then one day the man passed away. During the funeral ceremony, as everyone was fallen into silence, a sudden commotion from the stable drew everyone's attention. The horse burst out, having broken down the door, and galloped straight into the funeral crowd. It made its way to the coffin and kicked it open. What happened next left everyone in stunned silence. This town, located outside the city and surrounded by the high hills of southern Morocco, was a place where time seemed to stand still, where everything moved in a natural and peaceful rhythm. Surrounded by the sun-scorched lands of the desert, this town had relied on agriculture and livestock for generations. Its wide, fertile lands bore the sweat and labor of people who worked hard every day to earn their bread. And the most well-known figure of the town was a man who was inseparable from his animals, someone who touched the very soul of these creatures with his deep love: Ahmed. Despite being 65 years old, Ahmed had never lost his energy or zest for life. He had inherited his family's traditions, raised animals on the farm, and had fed and trained horses of all kinds. But to the people of the town, he was more than just a farmer. He was the animals' closest friend, their guardian, and a giver of life. The horses he raised grew up with him and were attached to him as if he were family. To Ahmed, the loyalty he saw in their eyes was one of the most precious things in the world. The bond he built with his animals was something that amazed everyone who witnessed it. Ahmed's father had also been a farm owner, and his life too had been deeply intertwined with animals. The family's traditions were shaped by a profound love for animals. That's why Ahmed had adored them since childhood. He had learned exactly how to approach them, how to gain their trust. Both his mother and father were also passionate about horses and took care of them with great affection. So, every morning, Ahmed would rise early and begin his day by tending to the horses, cleaning them, feeding them, and spending time with them. Every visit to the stable felt like a call to friendship, as he looked at the thick, shiny manes, the varied colors, and the uniquely expressive eyes of each horse. Ahmed's farm was home to many horses, and each had its own story. Some were healthy and strong, while others were weakened by age or illness. Ahmed cherished forming bonds with each one and spared no effort to ensure their well-being. For him, taking care of a horse wasn't limited to just its physical needs. He believed their emotional needs mattered just as much. That's why, when discussions arose in town about how animals should be treated, Ahmed would often remain silent but never compromise on his values. He believed that animals were not just tools or sources of labor, but beings with whom one could form friendships, beings whose rights deserved to be protected. One day, Ahmed heard of a foal on the verge of death at a farm on the outskirts of town. It had been born weak and sickly. The mother had endured great difficulty during birth, and her illness had been passed on to her foal. The townspeople believed the foal had no chance of survival. There were even rumors that the owner was planning to have it put down. One early morning, when Ahmed went to town, he heard these whispers. They struck a deep chord within him, and he immediately decided to act. Ahmed approached the farm owner, who was discussing the foal and its mother among the townsfolk. The owner smiled at him and, after a brief silence, began to speak. "What can you possibly do with a horse so weak and sick? There's no chance it'll survive. It may only have a few days left, maybe even less." Ahmed calmly replied, "Give it one more chance, give it hope. It's our duty to give animals a chance at life. I'll do everything I can to keep it alive." The owner, puzzled, asked, "But what could you possibly do to save a horse that fragile?" Ahmed responded firmly, "Every animal has a right to live. I will help it. Please, just give it a chance." After some hesitation, the farm owner finally agreed to sell the foal to Ahmed, under one condition. If the foal died, he would not come back asking for a refund. With determination and affection in his eyes, Ahmed accepted. The foal was so frail that he had to carry it with the utmost care onto his truck. As he left the farm, something stirred inside him. Perhaps the feeling that this was the first step in saving a life. He immediately consulted a veterinarian to begin treatment. After examining the foal, the vet said, "With a horse this weak and ill, I don't know what we can do. It may not survive more than a few months, but if you're willing to push the limits, maybe it could live for a year. Although Ahmed didn't fully agree with the vet's assessment, he patiently continued the treatment. He named the foal Kala. At first, Kala was extremely weak and listless, but with Ahmed's love and care, she began to recover. Day by day, she grew stronger, her muscles becoming defined, her coat shinier. Kala survived her first year, and over time, her bond with Ahmed grew even stronger. She became so robust that her story began to spread around town. Everyone admired her incredible recovery. Not only did she grow stronger physically, but also emotionally. So full of energy and joy, Kala's devotion to Ahmed became the talk of the town. People jokingly said they were like father and daughter. As time went on, Ahmed's health began to decline. He increasingly struggled to manage the daily work on the farm. Though his family and workers did all they could, they were powerless against his illness. One evening, as he sat alone on the veranda, Kala came to him as she did every evening. She laid her head on his shoulder. As Ahmed looked into her eyes, filled with deep affection, he thought about how everything in life is temporary, except for the mark we leave on the hearts of animals. Then one day, Ahmed suffered a sudden heart attack. His family rushed to help, but it was too late. He passed away. His funeral deeply shook the townspeople. Ahmed wasn't just a farm owner. He was a vital part of the community. The funeral was attended by people from all across the town. His family prepared to bury him on the farm, as was his wish. But then something unexpected happened. Kala began to circle the coffin frantically, kicking at the lid with aggression. Everyone watched in astonishment. As Kala pushed against the lid, it seemed she somehow sensed that Ahmed was still alive. Her actions stunned the crowd. While Ahmed's family trembled in fear, a sound came from within the coffin. Ahmed had been in a state of catalepsy, a condition that mimics death, and Kala had sensed her beloved friend was still alive. At that moment, the townspeople realized just how deep a bond an animal can form with a human. From that day forward, the town never saw animals the same way. They came to accept that animals, like people, need love, friendship, and loyalty. The story of Ahmed and Kala left an indelible mark on their hearts, and in the years that followed became one of the most cherished tales passed down in the town's history.